So what we're going to go through in no particular order, and we may cover more of these or less. What platform should I choose? What platforms are suitable for your business? What type of content is appropriate? How do we increase followers and increase engagement? And how do I measure the ROI? When we work with social media clients, they're always asking, what is this doing for me? And some of it is tangible and you can see and understand and demonstrate. Some of it you can't. So as a social media strategist, business owner, understand that some of this is out there and you've got to look for the tangential relationships as opposed to direct numbers. So this is just a little bit of an overview. 7.83 million people, 56% of which is urbanized, 5.2 billion unique mobile phone users, 4.6 billion internet users, and 4.2 active social media users. There are a lot of people on social media all day, every day. And it is important for your business to be a part of the conversation. Which conversation and where, we're going to talk a little bit about. So we have to choose the right platform. If we choose the right platform, we can, on your social channels, improve communication with your followers, keep your brand top of mind, monitor and manage your online reputation. Those reviews mean everything. You can reach a wider audience. I through my social channels, I just got a referral from Facebook from a psychologist in California who happens to be part of a psychology group. And somebody asked a question and they posted my name and she found me. She was not going to find me in California most other ways. It is a great way to provide customer support. Twitter is my favorite customer support tool. 100% of the time when I have an issue, I get on Twitter and I get an answer faster on Twitter than I do on their website or on their 800 line or whatever. User-generated content is huge. That's the holy grail of social media. When people will engage with your brand and they will generate content on your channels, you're doing the right thing. You're getting the job done. These people should then go to your website. If they can get referred into your website, and that is very measurable, we can generate leads, boost sales, and provide valuable information to those people. So social media is a channel to get people to pick up the phone, shoot you an email, go to your website, fill out a contact form. And when I'm talking right now, I'm talking strictly about organic social media. So organic is not paid versus paid or sponsored ads, which are very different. Most of these social channels are trying to move you to a pay-to-play market where you are paying for ads in order to be seen. So if I start to talk about paid specifically, you'll know it. But right now we're talking just about organic. Any questions so far? Nope.
I don't have any in the chat, so we'll just keep going. I'll interrupt you.
Okay, cool. So you can also gain great insights on your customers. Each social platform has their own analytics tool. So you can see who your clients are, who your prospects are, who are the people engaging. You can then use those demographics to not only gauge your brand message, but to see what they're looking for in terms of posts. 100% of the time, our Sunday posts are looked at the most often. Why? Because they've got dogs in them. Every one of our Sunday posts has a dog. Every one of those posts do better than the business posts. It's just the way it is. People are at home on a Sunday, they're scrolling, and it's fuzzy puppies. They love it. You can gauge the sentiment around your brand. What are people saying about you? You can see what your competition is doing. If you're looking at their social channels, several of the platforms allow you to put competition into your dashboard, and you can see what types of posts they're putting in, what kind of engagement they're getting. So you can use the intel provided by the platform to really dig into your industry, the trends, your competition, and see what people are engaging with. Anything so far?
I think you must be covering clearly because no questions at this point.
Cool. So I want to talk a minute about the whole pay to play thing. And this is where my notes are not visible to me, so we're just going to kind of wing it from here. All of these platforms, and I'll use Facebook as an example, but it's all of the above, are looking for you to buy ads, every single one of them. They have changed the algorithms so much in the past few years that it is nearly impossible for organic social media posts to be seen. You are probably 1% to 2% of your posts are being seen by an unengaged audience. And by that, I mean people that don't like, comment, or share your posts. In order for you to get people to see you, that content needs to be engaging. You want people to like or comment or share. You can ask them to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And people are pretty compliant. I just got a request today to share something about a dog that's up for adoption. No problem. It fits our brand. We're going to try and help this person. The only way you're going to get seen is if you are posting frequently and regularly. If you go in and post on Tuesday and then don't post anything until a week Friday, your posts are not going to get seen and you are wasting your time. What I recommend to all of my clients is to have a month of posts scheduled in advance, sit down, write them all out, get the posts, get the hashtags, get the links, get the images, and get them ready. Because if you're doing it catch as catch can, it's never going to be consistent enough and it's never going to be frequent enough. Depending on what platform you select, make sure you learn what their algorithms are. So, for example, Facebook, again, does not like you to link out to other places. So, for example, you write a great blog post, you want to call attention to it, you put the link in the post, Facebook is going to degrade that quality score on that post. What do? You got to put the link in there. So if you're going to have one with a link, make sure you have 3 without a link so that you can keep your quality score up on your posts. If you have a post that has a link or some other algorithm violation, get your natural brand advocates, friends, family, coworkers to like and share that so that increases the quality score on the post. Does that make sense?
Peter is asking.
I can't hear anything you're saying, Susan.
You can't?
No,
Can
you
hear
like,
me now?
yeah, I can't. You got to face the camera.
Okay, sorry. Does sharing links to articles count as user-generated content? So much of that is on LinkedIn.
When I talk about user-generated content, I am speaking about somebody else posting to your page. So Peter Davis has your company page and I find an article and I post it on to you. That's what I mean by user-generated content. Make sense? All right, so I'm going to go through the top social media platforms, some of their demographics, and posting tips for them. A lot of the posting tips are going to be the same. So if any of this sparks question, please stop me so we can, dig into this a little bit deeper.
Jean, I do have another question from what you were talking about with Facebook. Kathy would like to know, can you talk a little bit more about how Facebook decreases the quality?
I have a whole other presentation on that alone. So I'll give you a few tips off the top of my head. In order for Facebook to say, we're going to go ahead and stick this in the news feed, they don't like links to other websites at all. That's one of the things they like the least. If you're going to use hashtags, and this is Facebook only, not everybody else, even though Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company, their posting parameters on these algorithms are very different. But Facebook specifically, if you're going to use a hashtag, 2 to 3, and use it at the end of the post, don't mix it in the post. They like video better than photos, although I just saw last week that Instagram is starting to go back to photos from video. So more to come on that. It changes on the regular. This one is bizarre to me, but if you make a mistake in your post, don't go back and edit it. Don't ask me. It's the craziest thing ever. Make a comment about it. You know how you've seen the emails, whoops, we screwed up and whatever. Make the change in the comments. Don't go back and edit the post. For whatever reason, they ding you on that too. There are several more. And again, I have this in a whole other presentation. LinkedIn is the same way. They've got their own special things. Each platform is very different. I hope that helped her.
Kathy, take a look. Next week we have a search engine optimization presentation, which isn't exactly what we're talking about here, but we often have ones that are specific for, how you get a higher rating on these various different platforms. So let me take a look and see if we have one coming up.
Well, and the other thing is anybody can reach out to me offline. And if I have a canned deck on it, I can always send them the canned deck.
Perfect.
So let's start talking about these platforms. Again, interrupt me if anybody comes in. Facebook, 2.9 billion active users. Largest age group is between 25 and 35. 57% male, 33 minutes a day. I was very shocked by this. Typically what you see as parents are coming into social media platforms, their kids are jumping off. My demographic was largely Facebook. Middle-aged women were largely Facebook, and then Instagram happened. Also, politics happened. Also, hate speech happened. So a lot of things that happen on Facebook that don't happen anyplace else. I'm not saying it's bad. Well, hate speech is bad, yes. But this demographic has changed significantly. And so if you're looking to reach a youngish male audience, Facebook is a great place for you. Yeah, some of these strategies are going to be across the board, but in particular with Facebook, because that audience is changing so frequently, make sure you're looking at your audience and your insights to see who is looking at your stuff, who is engaging with your stuff. Go out and engage with people proactively, tagging people in the posts. So if Peter likes my post or my page and I find something interesting, I may tag him so that he knows that it's there. Make sure you schedule your content, because if you don't have a regular content calendar, people aren't going to see what you've got. You are going to have to spend money on Facebook, 100%. And that, whether that's a boosted post to a full campaign, you need to set aside a budget for advertising on Facebook. There's no way you're going to gain any traction, especially if you're a new business or new to social media. You're going to spend a whole lot of time and not get a whole lot of gain. So determine what your ad strategy is. I personally do not like boosted posts. I personally prefer a full-blown campaign. There are things you can do in the campaign setup that you cannot do in a boost. There's your demographics and your campaign strategies are limited in boosted posts. If you're a restaurant and you've got a bunch of open reservations, go ahead and boost it. But if there's a longer term strategy, you're going to want to do campaigns and get them set up properly. You're going to spend less money on the per clicks and you're going to get a higher conversion. And then your employees are your natural brand advocates. Get them to engage, get them to like and comment and share. If you look at my posts, my executive administrator likes every single thing that we post, and it's great for us. The more the more engagement you have, the more likely your posts are going to be seen on the organic side. Any questions on Facebook?
No, I don't see any right now.
Okay, I'm just seeing that number in the chat go up, and I'm not watching it. So
Question.
Oh,
Question.
one just came in. Zuri wants to know, how much money would you reserve for business just opened?
oh boy, what kind of business?
Zuri, if you want to come off mute, you can. He's writing, it's a maker space, tech
A what?
lab,
It's a tech lab?
maker's space, tech
Yeah.
lab.
Yep. So is it, depending on what the people are making, Facebook might not even be the right space. So if it's makers of soaps and candles and perfume, Facebook's a great place. And I'd spend, probably I'd start at like $250 to $300 a month. If it's a tech, I'm confused between the maker space and the tech lab. If it's somebody doing computer programming, don't even go to LinkedIn. Don't even mess around on Facebook, in my opinion. I think Facebook is a more B2C environment than a B2B environment. But your budgets on Facebook can be very low, and you can split them between Facebook and Instagram. On the other hand, I've got one client that's spending $7,000 a month on Facebook ads, but they're doing recruiting. Peter, I saw you have, I hope I answered Zuri's question. If not, we can get some clarity on that. Peter, it looked like you had a question.
I have
wrote in the
another-
chat. What kind of businesses do better on Facebook? What kind of businesses do better on LinkedIn?
There you go. All right. So that's where I was going. In general, and this is not a hard, fast rule, but in general, I believe that B2C, business to consumer, do better on Facebook and Instagram. B2B do better on LinkedIn.
Okay.
There is an argument that says I'll use myself as an example. I'm a business owner. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as a person, but I'm not looking for business stuff on Facebook and Instagram. When I see it, I scroll past it. I'm looking for hair and makeup and restaurants and food and all the things. in general, if you're a business to business, I would spend a lot of time and a lot of money, not a lot of money, a lot of time and a lot of effort on LinkedIn. And to that end, LinkedIn, whether you're B2C or B2B, I personally think their business pages are horrible. Very few people use them. LinkedIn is about people and it's about connecting people. Your business page is fine to post to as a repository. It's also fine to help encourage your employees to share your content because it's so simple to share from that business page. But if you really want to get engagement on LinkedIn, it's got to go on your personal page. And that's as simple as going to the business page, clicking share, and putting in your own personal headline to get that content shared. I have a paving company in Northern Virginia. He gets so much traction from his LinkedIn page. Guess what? He's never logged into his LinkedIn page in his life. We are his LinkedIn page. And he gets so much traction from that. So again, that's not a absolute, it's an opinion, but I do think that if you want, those are the differences. It's B2B, B2C.
Thank you.
Gina, I have another question, but first a comment about what you were just talking about. Sade said, great point about LinkedIn business pages. It's people connection driven. So that's the comment on that. And then I have a different question. What's the shortest amount of time you would recommend running a Facebook ad for? I've seen 2 weeks suggested in the past, but not sure if that's accurate or current.
It depends, and I realize I sound like a broken record. What is the purpose of the campaign? Is the campaign to get butts and seats because your restaurant's got open invitations? That's 24 hours. Is it a longer going campaign where you're recruiting physical therapists and occupational therapists? That can be ongoing in perpetuity. But I would say, whatever the length of the campaign is, that your creative should change after 2 weeks. You cannot set it and forget it. You can't do one ad and let it go forever and ever. Amen. The burnout on that ad after 2 weeks, it just is exponential. So again, with this, what is your ad strategy? What am I trying to accomplish? Am I trying to get people in a restaurant? Am I trying to get people in a parents to sign up for daycare centers? Am I hiring a plumber? And then that will determine the length of the campaign. I will say it does take some time on a campaign for the internal algorithms to shake out. So I would say on a true campaign, not the butts and seats for a restaurant, a minimum of 2 weeks is what I would recommend. Okay.
I think you answered that question because she says thank you, or he says, I'm not sure.
Okay. So I need to get our faces were right on my text. So Instagram, 2 billion, 25 to 34, pretty even females and males, half hour a day. Again, this one surprised me. I would have thought that this would have skewed a lot more female. Although I have to laugh because as I told you at the top of the hour, I'm on vacation while we're talking. And one of my 35-year-old guy friends did a meme with me, my husband, and the girl that we're traveling with of Three's Company, with all of our little faces knocked into Three's Company, and posted it on Instagram. So there's my guy. Instagram leans very heavy toward lifestyle. So if you are a lifestyle brand, makeup, hair, restaurants, recipes, food, bands, entertainment, Instagram is the place for you. That is where people go to look and feel good. Interestingly enough, there is a new social media platform called Lemonade that is Instagram on steroids for lifestyle. That is the only thing they're going to be really posting are those lifestyle things. So if you want to check out a new social media platform, because who isn't wildly excited about yet another social media platform, go check out Lemonade. Instagram's a little bit different than Facebook. You can't put a link, a clickable link in the post. You need to put it in the bio, and the bio, link in bio tool, there's several of them out there. We like two. One is called Pally, Pallyyy, I think. And one is Linktree. Two very different, they both accomplish the same thing. Pally is our scheduling tool. So we can use Pally to schedule all of our posts to all of our platforms and include a link in bio. Linktree allows you to have essentially a landing page with all of your social media, your website, your contact forms. So they're both very different. They're cheap, and they let you get people to multiple places without having to look and scroll. They just go right to the link in bio, and all of the options are very easy. The graphics are important on Instagram. You have to have a good graphic. The blocks of all of your posts, when you go to your page, should all have a similar look and feel. I have a friend of mine who's a little bit older and says, I don't know anything about social media, but I always know they're your posts by the look of the graphic. Make them pretty, spend time with them. Spend time on stories, spend time on reels. They are in strong competition with TikTok. People like the video. They like to see the video play. That being said, in the feed, not in the stories, we're seeing them go away from posting video in your feed. They're going back to static images. I don't know why they're doing it, unless they're trying to differentiate themselves from TikTok. So if you're going to spend time on video, don't spend a lot of time with Instagram video, spend it on the stories.
I do have another question for you.
Yep.
Dawn wants to know, what is your recommendation for retail medical businesses? Example, in-out chiropractic care.
Both great on Facebook and Instagram. Better on Facebook. If you're going to do it in Instagram, I would do a lot of customer testimonials and things of that nature. There's always an 80-20 rule in social media. 80% of the time you should be giving good information, befores and afters, product highlights, customer testimonials. 20% of the time you can just outright say, buy my stuff. But I think that chiropractic could play well on both Facebook and Instagram. Watch your analytics and see what the best time to post is. We saw a dramatic decrease on engagement on a couple of our clients, and we went and looked at their posts and found out that posting in the morning was not working. So we started a post at night, their engagement went up. So you need to watch those insights to see if what you're doing is working, which goes back to using a scheduler. You can change that on the fly. Otherwise, you're just waiting for you to have 5 minutes in your day to go create the post. Instagram is very different around hashtags than Facebook. Number one, they like an average of 13 hashtags. Don't ask me where they got 13. I don't know why it's not 10 or 15. It's 13. They like 13. And they don't want it in the post. They want you to put your hashtags in the comments. So it takes a little bit longer. Some scheduling tools don't allow you to schedule comments. So you're going to have to go back into these posts if your scheduler doesn't allow it and make the hashtags in the comments. Did I say that clearly enough, or am I getting a little down the geek speak path?
No, I think that was pretty concise. The
Okay.
13 is part, especially.
So weird, like 13, not 10, not 15, 13. Okay. Any questions so far?
Looking good right now.
Okay, great. So here is the controversial part of this presentation. And I'm going to give you my opinion and you can take it or not, but I'm just going to put it out there. Most of these Twitter, it says daily active users, a huge number of them are bots. The age group 18 to 29 is active users, but really what you're seeing on Twitter is news resources, politics, stars and starlets, you know, living their best life in Hollywood. Right now, it's very controversial to be on Twitter. You're either in the Elon Musk camp or you are not. I have stopped posting on Twitter for my business. We're just going to take a break, let the dust settle, and see what happens. My opinion for most small businesses is that you are never going to get one client from Twitter. So if it's a matter of just putting it in a scheduler and let it go, that's one thing. But Twitter isn't meant for small business. Twitter is meant for, I've got a national not bug spraying, but fertilizer company that handles my house. Walked outside the other day, there was a pile of the fertilizer pellets on my deck. I have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
I tweeted at them. Within 20 minutes, I had a response back on Twitter, and within a half hour, they had somebody come out and get rid of all the fertilizer pellets on my deck. Those are the kinds of things that I see Twitter valuable. I was on a Delta flight and I bought the Wi-Fi and it didn't work. The girl couldn't help me. I tweeted at them. I got a refund almost immediately. So between the controversy of Twitter and the size of your business, this may be something you don't even want to play around with. If you're going to do it, make sure you're using a hashtag tool. You do not want to jump into a hashtag and not know what it is about. A few years ago, we had the Me Too movement, which was a very trending hashtag relative to women's rights, all the things. And some guy was posting about a hamburger from Wendy's and used the hashtag Me Too, and they blew him up. So use a hashtag tool to make sure that what you are hashtagging is appropriate to the conversation that you're having. Make sure you check your time. Twitter is one of those things that it's all over the board. Depending on what's happening in the world, drives a lot of the engagement time on Twitter. Schedule those tweets ahead of time. Make sure you're engaging. People will go out and just post something to Twitter and then people will jump onto it and they never respond. That is the Twitter equivalent of ghosting on a date. If you're going to be on Twitter, you need to engage with Twitter, which means you don't just post once a day. You could be posting, you could be having multiple conversations with multiple people over time. There are ads on Twitter, again, very specific. I believe business to business is a better use for Twitter ads. And you need to make sure that you're engaging. All this being said, Elon Musk has decided that non-paid Twitter accounts will be devalued in the newsfeed, and only paid accounts are going to be featured. Unless you're a huge Kim Kardashian or whatever that gets so much activity, the algorithm can't be fought. So this Twitter's the one that I struggle with the most. And just be careful if you're on Twitter. Questions?
I think you scared everybody away from Twitter.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it was a real struggle for me to decide whether or not we were going to not post. I still use Twitter personally, but my company is taking a hiatus from Twitter. So if you haven't figured it out, LinkedIn is one of my favorite platforms. It is the place to go if you want to find a job, hire for a job, or become a thought leader in the business community. It is a place for you to recognize colleagues. For example, somebody wins an award. It's a great practice to congratulate them and tag them in the award, so that not only do they know you're thinking of them, all the other people that see that hashtag that are connected with them now know that they won the award. It's a great way to share information with clients about your industry. You know, for example, we have a lawyer that we work with that every time there is a federal law change, we tweet about that law so his clients know about it. Whether you're B2B or B2C, you're in business, and LinkedIn works for people in business. LinkedIn strategy is a little bit different than the others. You don't necessarily want to post daily. You may only post 3 days a week. You can share video and visual content. You can add video and visual content to your profile so that it will always stay evergreen. I've got a bunch of video testimonials that go back to my previous job on my LinkedIn profile. Don't be salesy. Please, please, please. Dear Susan, I see that you're a woman in business. I'm a woman in business. I would like to start handling all of your money because I'm a financial advisor. Don't do that. You need to have a relationship with people before you can try and sell them. And I don't even like the words sell them. There has to be a relationship. Cold calling on LinkedIn is becoming rampant. I probably get 5 messages a day from people who are trying to connect with me to, you know, do link building with my company, do offshore website development for my company, do my insurance, do my financial advising. I do not recommend that. I know a lot of people think it's a great thing. I find it very annoying. And what I hear in this space is that people find it very annoying. If you've got good content, tag people that it's relevant to, even if it's influencers. It could be somebody you don't know, but if you know they're an influencer, go ahead and tag them. And I have a whole other presentation on this. You don't have to connect to people anymore. You can follow them if they are what's called a creator. So my profile is a creator profile. If Sade wanted to follow my stuff, but she knows that we don't know each other, instead of requesting a not a friend request, but a connection request, and me denying it, she can now follow me without us having to be connected. Tag your employees, because your employees' network then becomes your network. Anniversaries, birthdays, accomplishments, awards. It's great to give a shout out. There was a post one of my employees did about me last week. She was having a hard time. She texted me and said, I need a mental health day. I said, enjoy. That was the end of it. She posted about that. I have gotten more comments about that post. People saying, you know, that's great. You gave her the day off. To, are you crazy? Mental health days are, you know, I get a lot of engagement from that one post. A lot of people saw it. So take advantage of that and create LinkedIn specific content. I see people on LinkedIn posting about their fishing trip or their grandkids or, you know, whatever. This is a business platform. Keep it that way. Don't dilute the message with things that aren't relevant to the audience. How we doing?
We're doing good. We've got about another 13 minutes to
Okay.
be precise. So we have some time, and we'll leave a little bit time at the end in case there's some last minute questions. Here's a new one that just came in from Kathy. I see a lot of those cold calls. What is the best way to handle them? Should I respond, or is it okay to ignore those requests?
Ignore them.
Ignore them. First of all, those people put out so many requests a day that they don't even know who's responding and who's not responding. And, you know, I don't tend to connect with people on LinkedIn unless I have some knowledge of who they are or why we're connecting. That being said, they can use InMail if they're paying for the advanced LinkedIn platform to reach out to you directly. But I just tend to ignore them. Pinterest. This is an oddball, but it works. Mostly female, skews older, but it works. I see, you know, a ton of lifestyle stuff, clothing, makeup, all those things. But the other thing I see a lot of on Pinterest is business posts. I see things like how to mix multiple fonts in a website. I see HR forms that people can download. A ton of that. I see project management tips. If you use Pinterest correctly, it can play. Is it going to be a game changer for you? No, but I can tell you, I get about, on average, 15 to 20 clicks into my website monthly from our Pinterest boards. Make sure you're engaged. Make sure that you are thinking about what you're trying to do on Pinterest. This isn't about posting every single picture. You know, for a web development company, you could have a board dedicated to new website launches. As a graphic designer, you could have a website board, you could have a flat work board, you could have a logo board. Think about the visual aspects of your business and how you can group those things and then tag them appropriately. And again, scheduling fresh pins. Nobody wants to see the same pictures 2 weeks in a row. Again, this is a little bit of an oddball, but it can work. YouTube. And this stat is from 2022. I'm gonna guess that this is a lot higher than it is right now. there are more people using YouTube than they are Google in some cases. The streaming on YouTube TV alone and OTT advertising is up crazy percentages. People want to watch video. They don't want to read text. So YouTube is a great way for you to demonstrate the sizzle reel about your company, demonstrate video testimonials from your clients, video testimonials from your team members. Everybody wants to have a happy team. They can talk about how great it is to work there. That's going to help in your recruiting efforts. Everybody's having a hard time hiring people now. If people can see on your YouTube channel that you've got happy employees, they're going to be more engaged with your company. When looking to post to YouTube, take a look at some of the tops in your industry. Like one of the ones that I watch all the time is a guy named Neil Patel. He puts out more video content than I can even wrap my head around how he's got time to do that. But he is the best at it. So I spent a lot of time watching him. Make sure that when you're posting videos, you're not just throwing them up on YouTube, you're optimizing them, which means you're putting the keyword phrases in the title, you're putting the keyword phrases in the summary, you're putting in a transcription. Check all the boxes in YouTube. If you do, it will reward you. Some people like to be on camera. Live streaming is great if you're comfortable. Some people prefer to have it taped and edited. People are consuming video in a multitude of ways these days. They don't have to be the perfectly scripted, green screen, 3 cameras, edited to a fault, teeth touched up kind of video. You can have a rougher video and it comes across as authentic, and people crave authenticity, and live streaming video gives you the ultimate exercise in authenticity. And don't forget YouTube ads. Those push down ads that happen at the beginning of a video, they have to watch, or they have to watch at least a snippet of it before they skip out. So if you can front load your ad with your message, with your offer, with your call to action, people are going to see it. I personally love YouTube. I don't do enough of it myself, but that is a time constraint, more than a dislike of the platform. I think that I'm trying to figure out how to get on. I know how to do it. I'm trying to find the time to get on TikTok. I love video so much. So this is a good opportunity. If you're not comfortable using your iPhone to film yourself, if you have a budget in your marketing dollars, hire a videographer to shoot a sizzle reel, 3 minutes about your company, your clients, your coworkers, and then have it sliced and diced into small little 15-second vignettes. You can get a lot of bang for your buck out of that investment in video. And I think it's really worth your time and effort to look at this year. TikTok, another super controversial one. Are the Chinese spying on us? Is it going to be banned from the United States? Whatever. It really skews young, but every single popular social media platform that has ever started young. Think of MySpace. Then when the parents got on MySpace, kids went to Facebook. When the parents got on Facebook, they went to Instagram, and the same thing is happening. I mean, I spend probably 20 minutes every Saturday and Sunday scrolling through TikTok, looking at everything from, self-help to cooking to just silliness. People spend a lot of time on TikTok, and that age is growing. if you're going to engage, know your audience. If you are selling chiropractic care, do a video on an adjustment, do a video on, you know, a new piece of equipment you got, make it engaging, use hashtags, try and find an influencer. Influencer marketing is huge. It's expensive, but there are micro influencers. There's a couple of micros here in Baltimore around the food scene that for a few $100s, they'll promote your restaurant or food item or whatever. There's a girl I know that got her car from being an influencer for that car dealership. TikTok is about humor, engagement, and authenticity. It is not the green screen with the 3 cameras and the script. It is about being genuine. I have a client that is a credit repair company. When we throw her up on TikTok, she gets leads almost immediately after launch. She's looking for college age people who have screwed up their credit because they don't understand that the credit cards really do have to be paid at the end of the month. TikTok is a miracle worker for her. So think about who your audience is and is it an appropriate place and strategy for your business? If you're a plumber, probably not. But if you're a restaurant or a chef or even a chiropractor, it's a good place for you to be.
Gina, we have a quick question about TikTok, and then we're probably going to have to wrap it up and take any other remaining questions. But the TikTok question is, how much do you spend for TikTok ads? What does a campaign look like on TikTok?
We've only done one, so I can answer it to a certain degree. The targeting is much less than it is on the other social platforms. It's inexpensive. I haven't seen great ROI. I don't think they've figured it out yet. So I wouldn't spend a lot of money. I'd throw $50 at it and see if it works. But we have not seen tremendous ROI. That being said, I see ads all the time. And the interesting thing about TikTok and ads is that people don't seem to mind them. They just scroll past them if they don't want to engage. So try it out. I encourage you to see how it works. Any more questions, Susan?
Not right now. So if you want to do a wrap up, and then maybe people can think about some final questions after your wrap up.
Yep. So these are just a few slides. And again, this deck will be available. Increase your following and engagement. Schedule posts that humanize your brand. You want to be authentic. You want to be real. Provide thought leadership, particularly in the LinkedIn space. Post regularly to stay top of mind. Measure, measure, measure. You've got Google Analytics, social media scheduling tool analytics, UTM parameters, and don't necessarily think that a large number of followers means a large engagement. I don't care how many followers you have. If you don't have the engagement, you're still not hitting it. And that is it.